I'm buying the dip. You shouldn't buy a dip in a bear market. You should short it until bottom and then buy the bottom. No one knows when we're at a bottom. Better to get a reasonable discount hodl and ensure that I'm hodling during the largest growth days of the year. It's not a discount if it's gonna be half the price you bought next week. It absolutely is a discount if it's gonna be 100x the price I bought in 5 years.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Having a look at Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, we are down today. Bitcoin was actually hanging around the $7,300, $7,200 level, and we took a tumble all the way down to $6,755, and now we're just kind of hanging around that region right now. Now, yesterday, I don't have to tell you what happened. We saw oil futures over here down 99.99%. In fact, it got to a low of negative $40.32 over here on CL1, which is absolutely insane. Currently, it is up since then, but the question is, what is going on out there in the economy? We are seeing things that we have never seen before, and today's video is not, by the way, to panic anyone or make anybody scared. I just want to talk about Bitcoin and what we could expect moving forward. Is what we're seeing right now just a bear trap, just trying to, trick all the traders, or is this actually setting up for a massive dump? Now, honestly, you guys know I am a massive Bitcoin bull on this channel. I believe in Bitcoin long term. However, people are scared right now. They're seeing things like this happen in the market. We're having unemployment rates skyrocketing. This was over on Reddit this morning. Somebody actually tried to make a wire transfer from Wells Fargo. They said that it wouldn't allow them to do it, told them to call a number. They got put on hold. So basically now the banks are holding people's money hostage. You've actually even heard situations of people's stimulus checks getting instantly moved to basically pay for overdraft fees, and they weren't able to use their money, right? And before we get into the charts, I just want to start this video off from this tweet that I retweeted from Robert Kiyosaki, and he says, "I don't consider gold, silver, or Bitcoin investments. To me, they are insurance. Hedges against CEOs or criminal executive officers and HEPs, highly educated puppets running the Fed, Treasury, and Wall Street, CEOs and HEPs printing trillions of fake dollars to cover crime, greed, and incompetence. Got insurance. But the question is, do you realize the risk that comes with the rewards?" Now, personally, I believe that Bitcoin's rewards definitely outweigh the risks. That's just my opinion. Yes, Bitcoin could go to zero. Oil did go to zero. It went below zero, or Bitcoin could go to 2 million. So you have to weigh out those pros and cons. But with that being said, that is the main topic of today's video. Definitely stick around. I do think you guys are going to enjoy it. It's not a totally bearish video. I just want to be realistic about what could happen. Maybe not tomorrow or the next day. We could see a pump, but there may be some sort of hidden possibilities in the Bitcoin chart. If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, we do these videos every single day. They're usually super bullish, but today we're going to take a dive into the charts and have a look at the fact that, okay, short term, currently Bitcoin is still putting in a higher low. This is good, right? However, we have solidified our first actual lower high. So now that we're starting to put in lower highs, you see we had this high up here where we had Bitcoin at around the $7,400 level, and then we had this around the $7,300 level, and now we are starting to put in a bit of a wedge, right? It looks like we're trying to come to the end. We are sitting below the heart line right here, and if we were to fall below this short term, you could see Bitcoin go to about the $6,400 level. If we do break back above the heart line, well, then the next stop would be, you guessed it, back around the $7,200 level. Now, if we were to not be able to hold any of these, you're talking about a drop pretty much down to about $5,800, but we're talking about a potential 50% drop in the Bitcoin price. Is that even possible after what we just saw? Well, having a look right here, I just want to point out the fact that not only are we having a lot of trouble right now, really around the 50-day moving average, which is a very important average. I don't have to tell you guys why. We've gone over this time and time again on the channel, but we're also being held down by this resistance that started basically all the way up here when Bitcoin hit the $10,500 level. And actually looking where we are right now, you'll notice that not only did that resistance hold us down, we're having trouble right here, but we are looking for some support short term on the local VPVR at around the $6,700 level. As far as altcoins, well, a lot of them are just basically sitting on the sideline waiting to see what Bitcoin will do next. Last week, we did have Ethereum kind of leading the way. This week, sort of a mixed sentiment in the altcoin markets, right? Now, some of the similarities that you can point out for a bearish outlook on Bitcoin are the fact that we did have this ascending channel that started here around December of last year. We had that peak and we dumped, right? Now, once we broke below it, keep in mind, we did sort of catch ourselves very briefly on this secondary uptrend, which is sort of what Bitcoin is doing right now. Now, guys, I'm not saying these are absolute similar charts. They're not. This chart is more of a, ascending wedge that's coming out of a bear flag, you might call it. And this was something totally different. We weren't coming out of any type of a flag movement. It was just an ascending trend. However, ultimately, you could see that this trend got broken. We fell, got supported on sort of the final support, and then we had the dump. And right here, you could see that we fell. We had the previous support become resistance, just like we had here. We had support become resistance. Right here, we have support become resistance, and we touched the bottom trend. And currently, right now, we are sitting on the bottom trend that we started back here. So does this mean that we're going for another massive drop? Is Bitcoin looking for a 50% dump down to the $3,400 levels? Well, if we have a look right here, you notice that we are being held down by the VPVR at 7.2, okay? We are being, well, not necessarily held down, but we are struggling at around, the 50-day. So are we looking to put in a potential huge double bottom before having a blast off? Well, that is one possibility. Before we get into that, I just want to also say that there is some bullish scenarios, right? It's not all doom and gloom. However, even on this bullish chart that I pointed out yesterday from I Am Wolf Crypto, essentially he's saying that, wow, if we look at the inverted chart of Bitcoin, it does appear that the bottom is in, right? Bitcoin does tend to touch this line and respect it. But if you zoom in right here, this doesn't mean that there isn't a possibility of Bitcoin retesting this line again. If we were to retest that line, there is that possibility of going down into the $3,000 level again. Will we fall below 3,000? In my personal opinion, I think if we do, we won't stay there. I don't think we're going to have, permanent trading there. However, it could breach the level, and then investor confidence and sentiment could go the other way. And then if we were to break the trend, okay, because we do have the 200 weekly moving average, which I'll get into in just a bit, that could be very bad for Bitcoin. We haven't really done that yet, so I'm not going to say it's going to happen. Now, having a little bit of a look at the bullish scenario of why the bottom may be in, and we may not see these levels again, or we might just simply retest them quickly. You can see this chart over here. This is the GBTC premium, grayscale Bitcoin. We have spoken about them several times recently on the channel. This is from Bitcoin Jack over at Twitter, and he says that historically it has been profitable to accumulate Bitcoin as the GBTC premium visited its lows. So sometimes it trades a little bit higher. It's more expensive to buy Bitcoin over at GBTC. Sometimes it actually gets a little lower and meets up with the Bitcoin price. And you can see that historically, he points out great opportunities when we dropped below these correlation levels right here, right here, right here. And, currently maybe we are in that sort of accumulation phase again. Maybe now is an excellent opportunity to be accumulating Bitcoin. Now, let's be honest, dollar cost averaging is always your friend. However, this could signal that maybe the bottom is in, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we couldn't go lower. In fact, just on the short term, if you are going to look at the 200 weekly, which is what I was talking about as a very critical level, from where we are right now down to there, that's about a 20% drop. So that's not a 50% drop, if we were to go all the way back down to the bottom here. But, having that be said, where the basic accumulation was during the bottom, from there all the way to the bottom, yeah, that's about a 58% drops, a 48% drop. So almost a 50% drop. However, you can see that there is the possibility of going to the upside as well. You can see that this ultimately, if you look at these purple lines, does look like a descending broadening wedge. Now, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. You don't want a descending, it's not really a bullish sign to have an ultimately descending pattern. However, you could have this break all the way up to the top right here. And if that was the case, you could see a $9,700 Bitcoin. Unfortunately, you could also be heavily rejected back down from that point again. So I just wanted to sort of break the bearish and the bullish news to you guys. If we were to break below the 200 weekly, then yes, you could see Bitcoin retesting somewhere down here. Even if we had a fake out up to this level, it's still possible for Bitcoin to go all all the way up to 9,300 before going all the way down and revisiting $4,300 again. We've seen Bitcoin do insane moves like this. In fact, we had the crazy China pump that happened right back here, right when Bitcoin was I am on the weekly right here, but essentially we had Bitcoin all the way down at $7,200 and Bitcoin pumped to $10,300. That was I think it was like 48% increase in like just over a day. So it is possible to see this. The other sort of bearish thing, if you want to look at it, is the fact that since the all-time high, Bitcoin has ultimately been treading, pretty much in a descending pattern where we had the high here at around 20K, and then we had the next high at around 14K. So is this just one giant bear market that we've been in and Bitcoin is just sort of trending downwards, or is it just one ultimate, sort of consolidation accumulation? Guys, it's up to you. I can't tell you where to put your money, but ultimately having some exposure to Bitcoin overall is a hedge against the pretty much indefinite inflation of the US dollar. Short term, it could get a little bit rocky, okay? Moving on, I do want to talk about one other thing. This is a positive, and this is known as the net unrealized profit loss, and they're saying that it is approaching the optimum zone as Bitcoin passes the 7K mark. According to Glassnode, they say we saw a similar pattern in April 2019. A breakout into this zone usually signifies increased investor confidence and can lead to further price gains, okay? And one final thing I want to add to this before we, end this topic on bull versus bear, you can look right here and we have the market capitalization of stablecoins increasing by 95% year to date this year at $6.25 billion. This is a lot of investors sitting in stable coins. These are dollars that are pegged, these are coins that are pegged to dollars, meaning that they're not sitting in Bitcoin, they're not sitting in Ethereum, they're not sitting in XRP or Chainlink or any of these. They are sitting in dollar pegged crypto assets. Now, they do say that it's a combination of the recent market volatility, and it could actually just be inflation of foreign currencies against the US dollar, right? Maybe some people just don't want to sit in, bolivars, or obviously I don't think anybody would want to sit in bolivars, especially if they're from Venezuela. But my point is the dollar, as bad as it looks compared to other things like gold and maybe Bitcoin, it does look better compared to, other fiat currencies around the world. You're seeing guys that they want to get into the dollar. The dollar's looking a lot better than their nation's currency. So that could be one possibility. Maybe also savvy investors, maybe some of the whales out there, they are looking to buy at lower prices. Now, of course, everyone could get blindsided and Bitcoin could pump to the moon tomorrow. But I just wanted to make a realistic video for you guys today to show you that it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and you do have to look at the risks versus the rewards. Now, if you want to short Bitcoin, you want to short the Ponzi, you could do that on things like Bybit and other leverage trading platforms. You could short up to 100x if you want. I don't know why you'd want to do that. That's pretty much just giving your money away, but you could do that. So if you're interested, I do have a tutorial that is popping above. I do have a link below if you want to use it. You do help support the channel. Doesn't cost you anything extra, and you can get up to $90 in rewards over at Bybit. You could check that out if you want. But that being said, guys, also let's talk super quick about what is going on with gold. Gold currently, spot gold, trading at around $1,684. It actually reached a peak at around $1,749, which you can see was basically prices that it had traded at, pretty much November of 2012. So it was not the greatest market for gold buyers. Look, gold buyers had to sit in this market right here for 8 years before seeing a return to the norm. And, you are seeing now people say, well, on Monday, Canadian Investment Bank and Financial Services TD Securities saying that they're expecting gold to reach $1,900. So, gold in 2012, $1,700. Gold in 2020, $1,700. Man, and they say that Bitcoin will age you fast. Peter Schiff, what is going on, buddy? But at the end of the day, it's up to you. Yes, invest in precious metals. Not financial advice, if you'd like. Invest in Bitcoin, if you'd like. Hold cash, if you'd like. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to what you're comfortable with. Don't go gambling away the mortgage payment or the rent payment, right? And for me, I'm not really interested in sitting around and waiting a decade just to see the price basically be the same, or if you bought at the bottom of gold, it's up like 65%. So that's for me. I'm more of a Bitcoin hodler. You can see right here, obviously Bitcoin's trying to have a little bit of a mini breakout. Will we go up to some of those prices? Will we have the $9,300 Bitcoin? It's possible, guys. It's possible. But given the economic turmoil right now, the uncertainty, banks not letting people take their money out, unemployment rates, it could get a little bit crazy out there. And before we go, I just want to say one thing. Times like this, yes, you can make money by shorting the markets. You can do that over here at Bybit if you want. But ultimately realize that, we had our fun. The markets were pumping. Everything was going to the moon. Cryptocurrency was up. 2017 bubble at, high of December was amazing. But you have to think to yourself that now is not necessarily the time to be greedy, okay? Now is the time to preserve, okay? Wealth generation is great when markets are doing well. Not everyone is that good at making money when markets are falling. And if markets do hypothetically continue to fall, you need to worry about your wealth preservation. Make sure that you have money for the next few months in case things do get crazy, in case unemployment rates go up, when they do open the economy, if things don't go back, which they probably won't go back to what they were, you don't want to be in a position where you're underwater. So at the end of the day, please be safe out there. I love you guys. I'll continue to make videos either way. Bear market, bull market, if Bitcoin's at 3,000, I'll still be here making videos. But just be safe out there, guys. I love you. I hope you understand that this video wasn't bearish. I just wanted to kind of show both sides of the coin, pun intended. And with that, that's it. That's enough for me. No more. That's it. That's enough for today's video. Tomorrow we'll probably go back to bullishness and stuff like that, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys both sides of the coin, the equation. And yeah, if you guys are interested in getting a Ledger Nano S, we give them away every Monday. Drop a comment below. That's it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this, for the most part, every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.